Hey there, it's Tim Peirce with the Peirce Group at Keller Williams Realty. As always, thanks for checking out our videos. This video that I'm sending to you today is something that I come across all the time with sellers, and something that I think can be really critical to helping to smooth out the inspection process for sellers. So when we consult with a seller, we always advise that you actually get a pre-inspection. But let's just say theoretically that you don't get a pre-inspection. I'm going to give you some tips as to how to pass your inspection with flying colors. And they're really simple things. And so I've actually pulled together a top 10 cheat sheet on how to pass your inspection, and avoid some of the common really nuisances of inspections that people get aggravated about having to deal with. I'm going to hit some of the high notes, but there's 10 tips in the link below. All you got to do is click on that link and it'll actually pull up a complete list of the 10 tips that I have for passing your home inspection. All right, so number one is get your heating and air conditioning serviced. Have a complete service done on the system. Make sure that all the duct lines are taped and secured, that it's operating efficiently, that you don't have any water in the pan, the condensate lines aren't plugged or anything like that, and you got a clean report. If you have that, maintain that record. It's important that you do that. This is another one, and it's really silly, and nobody ever thinks about it, but make sure all your lights are working. All the lights in the house, change the light bulbs, because here's the thing. Although it's not your responsibility as a seller to put new light bulbs in, it is your responsibility to demonstrate to the buyer that there's not an electrical problem and that they are functioning. So ultimately, you're going to have to put lights in anyway. So if you have some lights that are not working, just pop a new light bulb in there. You'll avoid that heartache of that being on the report. One other item that comes up all the time, and something that is really just good habit, is to make sure that you clean your dryer vents out. This is a maintenance item, and per our contract here in South Carolina, you would not be necessarily required to cover this, although it is a fire hazard. So if you just you can have somebody come out and service your dryer vent and clean it out. Those services usually run about $75 or so. We do this at our house once a year and make sure it's all cleaned out and we don't have any fire hazards. Here's a big one though. Have your roof inspected. Have a qualified roofing contractor come out, check out your roof. Do you have any exposed nail heads? How are the conditions of your vent boots? If the vent boots are cracked, that could cause a leak. Have them take a look inside the house. Make sure that there aren't any active leaks in the house. If there are stains from an old leak, have them just verify that those leaks are not active, put it in writing, and have it ready to go. Just do anything on the roof that's needed, and even if you're not selling your house, this is just good practice. You know, we spend a lot of money servicing our cars all the time, but a lot of times we don't think about simple things like having our roof inspected, making sure we've got a service contract on our heating and air conditioning. It's the biggest asset you own. Make sure you have it inspected and checked out every now and then. Let's see, what are some of the other things? Really simple things such as staining inside the house. So maybe you had a leak inside the house at one point. Maybe you had, your heating and air conditioning, the pan overflowed, and you had a leak that stained the ceiling in the living room. If you have a stain in the living room, but there's no existing leak or any problem, have it painted and cover up the stain from the past. Obviously, you don't want to cover up something that's an existing issue, but if it's an issue that was in the past and it's been fixed, make sure you get that stain painted, because the inspector is going to have to note that on the report and say verify that there is not an active leak. And that's when you have to have contractors come out and make sure all this stuff is taken care of. So just take that issue out of the equation altogether. But those are some of the high notes from my top 10 list for passing your home inspection. Click on the link though if you want to check out the rest of them. As always, I really appreciate you checking out our videos. If you know of anybody that's in the market to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I've got a fabulous team here ready to help anytime you need it. And we want to be your point of contact for real estate. So thanks again for checking this out, and pass it along to anybody you might know. Thanks. Bye-bye.